at the final match of the Total Energies CAF AFCON Morocco. Those challenges, and I express my personal opinion that I was extremely disappointed, but those problems and those challenges are now in front of the CAS, and I really am sick and tired of having, for the last 3 months, every time I meet the media, I've got to answer questions about what happened at the final match of the AFCON in Morocco. It has happened. This was the most successful AFCON in the history of this competition by all standards. And the difficulties and the problems that have arisen, those processes will follow the legal and the regulatory procedure of CAF and FIFA. And I'm confident that the decision of CAS will unite all of us, will unite the people of Senegal and unite the people of Morocco, and also unite the people of the 54 African nations. But I can't be asked the same question. I've got 54 nations in Africa. I've got 54 member associations. I've got competitions to run, and world-class competitions. CAF has to develop football, make African football world-class. And we've got the biggest competition in the world, the FIFA World Cup that's taking place in a few months. So I'm clear in my mind, those issues about the final of the Total Energies CAF AFCON Morocco are behind us. And you can even say that they are on the side, because some people say, if I say they're behind us, they're not really behind us because the judgment is coming. That's fine. They're on the side. But I bring a positive message. And that positive message, as I closed the press conference yesterday, was to say, the message I gave to the people of Morocco is the identical message I'm giving today to the people, sorry, the message I gave yesterday to the people of Senegal is an identical message I give to the people of Morocco. And I'm very optimistic and confident. The meetings were positive, absolutely positive. And let me tell you what the message is that I bring today to the people of Senegal, and I start giving the message to my brother Fauzi as president of the Royal Moroccan Football Federation, and to the leadership of the Royal Moroccan Football Federation, and to say to them and to the government of Morocco and to His Majesty King Mohammed VI, may God assist him, and to the people of Morocco, to say that I am personally deeply committed, and CAF is deeply committed, and I talk on behalf of the 54 nations whose member associations are part of CAF. I talk on behalf of the member associations who represent 54 African nations. And the message is, as I said, we are deeply committed to work together. We are deeply committed to make sure that we develop and grow football in Morocco and on the African continent, and also to say we have deep love for the people of Morocco, for the government of Morocco, and for the Football Federation. Now, so it's very clear in my mind that we have made significant progress. And let me tell you something else. I went to Gorée Island yesterday as well, and I gave an explanation that by coincidence, President Mandela, when he came back, I wasn't aware, but he had been to Gorée Island, and he asked to see me, and basically he thought he wanted to thank me for the work that the Family Foundation was doing for the duty we have to help and to assist, and we were giving tractors and fertilizer and seeds to the poor rural areas and to areas where our traditional leaders and our kings are. And he said, I just wanted to thank you, but he also said, I've come back from Gorée Island. I had a very emotional visit to Gorée Island, and I know you are very busy, but when you find time and go to Senegal and go to travels in Africa, please find time and go to Gorée Island and just go and see and experience the history of the continent. Why it was important for me to go now, because I'd been there earlier and on both occasions, I could not go. It was important because there were some statements that were made that were enormously hurtful, enormously hurtful. And of course, my duty is to keep people united, but there were some statements that were made about the AFCON final in Morocco and discussions about slavery. And enormously, not just enormously inappropriate, but enormously painful, because all of us on the continent have a huge duty to work together and to keep our people united. And we know our history. Our history over the years had lots of challenges. And this is one of the things I was discussing with the people in Senegal, to discuss and say that we should really avoid all of these inflammatory statements. It's not good, but it doesn't help anybody. It's not good for anybody. But again, let me step aside from that and focus on the positive. So I went to Gorée Island because it was the right thing to do on my side. And as I said, it was an obligation I had, and it's part of the history of what was of the continent, and we are confident that we are now building together. We've got painful histories, all of us. I grew up in a country where there was discrimination based on the color of my skin, but I look beyond that, and we build. So I want to go back to going back to football. So very good meeting, and very positive statement from the Senegalese government and the people, the football leadership. And I had a wonderful meeting this morning with my brother Fauzi and some of our leaders in Morocco. The same deep commitment. So when I arrived here this morning, I told the media that we should now focus on our national team. And this is the message I'm going to take to every one of those 10 nations that will be representing us in America and in Mexico and in Canada for the World Cup. We have to, and I'm in Morocco, so I'll say this. We've got to support Hakimi. We've got to support Brahim. We've got to support our national team. They've made us proud in Qatar. They made the people of Morocco proud. They made the people of Africa very proud. And we support them and encourage them and say, we know that you will do well, and we know that you will do us proud in America and in Canada and in Mexico. Same message I gave yesterday in Senegal, to say to the people of Senegal, support Sadio Mane, support Koulibaly, support the national team. They'll be representing the people of Senegal, they'll be representing the people of Africa. And it's the same message I'm taking to the other 8 nations and the other 8 national teams. So I'm clear in my mind. Are there issues which are problematic and which are negative? Yes, there are. But I'm confident that whatever the decision of CAS will say, we will respect it and we will implement it. But we have to rise above those issues. I remember I was watching some of the games where Senegal was playing in the AFCON, not with Morocco. Senegal playing other nations in Morocco. And I was commenting, I said, but why are there so many people? I was very happy. How is it that there are so many people from Senegal who are here watching the national team? And this is something we should learn for all of the other national teams. And they say, no, President. These people live, these Senegalese people live in Morocco. And I'm told there's about 250,000 Senegalese people living in Morocco. So and then they explained to me, there's a very long history, a proud history between the people of Senegal and the people of Morocco. And we are never going to allow football to divide us. It's never going to happen. We are never going to allow football to separate and divide our people. There are problems, there are challenges. We'll overcome them. We will use football to unite our people, to build on this history between the people of Senegal and the people of Morocco. And I'm confident we, African football, we will come out of this problem and the challenges we had. And as I said, my extreme disappointment, I may not comment on what happened at the final, because I have a duty and an obligation, a legal obligation and a fiduciary obligation. When a matter is before a judicial body, which is CAF, I may not comment. But we've already started, we've identified some regulations which, even though the CAF regulations and the AFCON regulations are based on the FIFA regulations and the football rules which apply all over the world. What I have learned and what we have learned from the final is that some of those laws have to be significantly improved. One of the issues that has worried me is that if there's a serious violation of a serious regulation, the consequences of which fundamentally undermine the integrity, the credibility, the respect for football, we have to change our regulations to make sure that there's a concomitant and an appropriate sanction. This is very, very important. And let me also say this. One of the things that has always worried me from the day I became president, it's an old matter. There's been a lot of suspicion and distrust in many of our referees. It's an old matter. We've done a lot of good work. We did excellent work. I mean, my brother Fauzi was discussing with me this morning something that we discussed quite some time ago. We started an excellent partnership with FIFA to professionalize African referees. And it improved their skills and expertise and made them world class. And Gianni Infantino played an important role from FIFA, and we did it from CAF. And that process was stopped. And I didn't know about it. And I asked Gianni, why was this thing stopped? He says, I didn't even know myself it was stopped. But this is one of the issues that the chairman of the referees committee raised when he came to give us a report, because the CAF Exco asked him to give us a report. Give us a report of the assessment of the performance of the referee and the VAR on the day of the final match of the Total Energies, CAF AFCON Morocco 2025. So I was saying to Fauzi this morning, there are times when, let me give you an example. When we sit together, we're at the stadium, and Morocco is playing. And the referees take decisions, and they blow the whistle. Now, you must understand, we are all human beings. I may be the president of CAF, but we are all football spectators. We love football. And I see sometimes the referee takes a decision. Fauzi says, oh my God, you know, what does the rule say? I mean, this is not what the rules say, this is not what the regulations say. But, you know, he's got to sit down and keep quiet and watch what the referee is doing. So all of us, we are football lovers. We often at times, and referees are human, they make mistakes. And sometimes VAR, I always make this example. There's a football club called Mamelodi Sundowns that the family owns. They play against another football club in the Champions League called Yanga. And Yanga scores a goal. And I'm watching the match. And I say, that's a goal. And the referee come and the VAR says it's not a goal. I said, oh my God. Because it's not just a decision, but they justify it. They say, no, no, no. Here is the line. I could see it. And the ball did not cross the line. But for an ordinary football player, it looks like it has crossed the line. So I'm just saying that we should not be excessively judgmental and excessively condemning. We will keep improving the referees, and we will pay them well, and we've already started going back to that old system of professionalizing them.